Space Expo 2019, and with me now I have, a very interesting individual been presenting here this week, Max from Launcher. Welcome, first of all, to Space Expo for this year.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Give us some information then on Launcher, a relatively young organisation, of course. Tell me what you do.
Yeah, we're 2 years old on a 10-year journey, and we're building an orbital launch vehicle to deliver small satellite to orbit. Our launch vehicle will be able to carry about 773 kilogram of payload to 200 kilometer orbit. And right now, our small team is entirely focused on propulsion. So we believe in engine first, and we're doing subscale testing of 3D printed high performance engine. And soon we will be moving on to full scale testing of our 10 ton or 22,000 pound of thrust 3D printed liquid rocket engine.
So the challenges, what are they then for being such a young launch vehicle manufacturer?
Well, you're not a launch vehicle manufacturer until you reach orbit. And to give you context, only 11 countries have ever reached orbit with their own rocket. Only 2 private companies. The first one was SpaceX, and then the second one was Rocket Lab, doing it with a small launcher and with a 3D printed engine. So it's very hard. There's about 200 countries around the world, and many of them have tried with country budget and have failed. And there's also many companies trying today that have tried. So that in itself is a big challenge. The other challenge, obviously, that you have to focus on a very clear roadmap and to execute over usually a longer term plan than most companies before you reach revenue. So that's one of the big challenges.
Obviously, challenges aside, then the opportunities.
Well, the satellites have been miniaturized from the size of, small buses to the size of a loaf of bread. And, to date, since the first satellite, Sputnik, there's only been about 5,000 satellites ever sent to orbit. Right now, between the internet constellations and all of the startups starting to either compete with existing application or creating new application that we don't even know about, we're talking about, 20,000, 30,000 satellites being launched in the next 10 years or so. Whether this will happen or not, there's really no debate that the industry is changing. Startups are entering it, and we're now going to see a revolution of what can be done with satellites.
Talking of a revolution, the Industrial Revolution 4.0, of course, additive manufacturing, 3D printing, they're in now, but they are developing. The implementation is becoming widespread. What do you think the impact is going to be over the next decade on the industry?
Well, for us, for example, as a small launch vehicle provider, building high-performance liquid rocket engine would not even be an option or something we could consider with traditional, form of venture funding. And this is all thanks to 3D printing. The first wave of 3D printing allowed companies to create a lower performance engine, smaller size, and some sort of compromise, but they were able to build functional liquid rocket engine. But now we're already on the second wave, and we are exploiting copper alloys, which are traditionally used for highest performance engine, but now with 3D printing. And we also are increasing the size, and with our partner EOS and AMCM, they have developed a printer that is able to print a rocket engine up to 1 meter tall. And so the size is increasing, the materials are getting better in terms of what you would expect in a liquid rocket engine, and that's only the beginning. So, all of the startups you see today, and even the traditional companies, are using 3D printing as much as they can for pumps, for combustion chamber and other part, just because the affordability and also the flexibility in design is materially different than what was done before, which was very exclusive and very expensive.
Max, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.